Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Pastor Kristi, and this is the first Wednesday night of Lent. Each week there will be a small video teaching you how to make one of the soups that tends to show up at our soup dinners. Mine this week is a vegetarian chili that is actually the recipe of one of my friends and seminary roommates, and in the winter of Chicago, we would make this recipe and then have it when we got home from class at the end of the day. Now, if you know me, you know the real cook in our house is Jamie, my husband. And so this is a recipe that is a more perfect Kristi recipe in the sense that it's a crock pot, sort of cut and dump everything in, and then it turns out great. So let me talk you through it. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is get all of the chopping out of the way. Today I'm going to chop onion, 2 stalks of celery, and some baby carrots. You can use real carrot, like a whole big carrot, but what we've got is baby carrots, so that's what it's going to be in our house. Also, I prefer to do this recipe with real garlic, with fresh garlic. We don't happen to have any, so I'm going to substitute some garlic powder, and that'll be fine. It'll be just as tasty. It's just my preference to have real garlic if we do. So let's get to chopping. Okay, and now that I got all the fresh vegetables chopped and thrown into the crock pot, I'm going to go ahead and do my frozen corn. I've let that be on the counter long enough that it's not frozen in one big chunk. And then I'm going to dump this into a measuring cup and do 1 cup. And then I'll dump that in the crock pot. So I'll tell you, if it turns out that I've got like barely a little bit more than a cup, I might put in a little extra. Or if I've got a little less, I'll put in a little less. It's not an exact science for this. It's not baking, it's just cooking. All right, now that all the vegetables are in my crock pot, I am gonna get the beans ready, and then we've got a can of chilies. So what I need is my can opener and a colander, and I've got 2 cans of Great Northern beans and 1 can of diced green chilies. For our house, they're mild. I've always used mild, but if you're somebody who loves the heat, go ahead and get something more exciting. You need to open up the cans of Great Northern beans and drain them and rinse them before you dump them in the crock pot. So that's what I'm going to do next. Open the can of chilies and dump them in, and you probably need a spatula to make that happen well. Okay, so all that's in, and this is what it looks like in the crock pot right now. Whoops, I'm not so good at being the videographer, but so that's all set. So next up, we're gonna do spices, a can of tomato paste, and a cup of water. We'll dump all that in and mix it up. Okay, so I'm going to do the spices, but let me warn you about a trick and a truth of my house. So it is possible, I would say even likely, that at some point before dinner, my husband will wander through the kitchen, smell the crock pot, open it up, stir it, and maybe mess with the spices. So I tend to underspice things knowing that he's probably going to come in and like doctor it up. Also, we're playing with chili powder here. So you know how much spice your family likes and how much you would like for heat. What the recipe calls for is 1 tablespoon, this big guy, of chili powder and 1 teaspoon of oregano. And then I already put that garlic in. So here we go. And one other thing I like to do, because I love them and I will put them in almost anything that I can possibly justify it calling for, is I'll throw a little crushed red pepper in there. I just like them. And, you know, it makes sense, right? So, can't tell you how much I put in there. I just shook it. Now we're going to get 1 cup of water, and that'll be good. So here's what this all looks like right now. And you might be thinking, wow, seems like we're missing a step. We sure are. You need to stir it. So here we go. You can grab a spoon. You can grab just the spatula that you already used and is already dirty because you don't like to have more dishes than absolutely necessary, like me. That's up to you. Okay, so then you put the lid on your crock pot, put the crock pot on low or medium. This crock pot only has low and high, so I picked a low, but if you've got medium, keep medium. And then just let it be. You're done. But I will give you one more tip. Right now, I'm usually like, awesome, I'm all done, walk out of the kitchen. Here's my recommendation. Do the dishes right now. Do them. You'll be glad at dinner time when you don't have any dishes to do except the bowls that you ate out of and maybe the crock pot. So go ahead and wash all your prep dishes right now. You'll be glad for it. And then I want to let you know about serving stuff. So I usually have this chili. I'll put some sour cream in. I like to put Fritos on it. Sometimes I serve it with cornbread. Tonight, because now that I live with a carnivore, I have to have everything have some meat in it. And this recipe really doesn't have any meat in it, as you noticed. Tonight, Jamie's going to cook up some chicken, and we'll probably throw the cooked chicken in there and have adapted it to be a meat recipe. But there's nothing wrong with it vegetarian, and it is delicious that way too. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at worship. Bye.